We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of School Life Ready Talks. I am Dr. Cecilia Lynch Mitchell, pediatric occupational therapist, and I am here again with my co host, partner, friend, Jen, the parent. How is everyone doing? How are you doing, Jen?
I'm good. I'm good. We're about 2 weeks into school, so everything's starting to flow, if you will.
I know. And I must let everyone know that for the past 2 weeks, Jen and I have not been live because I went back to work. Jen and her boys went back to school because the parents go back to school too when the kids go back to school.
Oh, yes.
So, so we had a very hectic week and very well, 2 hectic weeks. So we had to make a decision of how to manage our stress and what we can allow to fall by the wayside and what we need to continue. So, for that reason, last week we didn't have a live show. We had a replay, and I apologize to everyone who was looking forward to more back to school episodes, but we're still going to do that. Although we're 2 weeks in, we're still going to talk about back to school. So what we do here every night, every Tuesday night at 7:30, Jen and I, we talk. We talk to our listeners. We talk to each other about things. And the whole purpose of this show is to provide parents, especially parents of children with disabilities, parents of children who have autism, ADHD, and other neurodiverse conditions. We're here as a support. I give talking points from a therapeutic standpoint, and Jen gives her ideas and suggestions and talking points from that personal experience that she has from being a mom of two boys, one who is on the spectrum and the other who is diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. So although we're here supporting parents with special needs, what we talk about, all parents could benefit from. So definitely like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel with other parents, friends, guardians, caretakers, anyone who you know could benefit from this information. So, yes, Jen. All right.
Yes.
Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to help families find their rhythm in terms of getting the school year going and staying, right? Because it's
Mhm.
one thing to get going, and then the other thing is to keep it flowing through the school year, right? So although we're here, we want to prepare people as much as possible as to what they can do. So yeah, Jen, what are some of your wins and disasters as a mom that has happened these past 2 weeks, just getting started?
I think that the biggest one for me is feeling guilty about not spending enough time or quality time with my kids. So although, they're back in school and they do have services in school, we also have private services. And those take up a lot of time, if you will. And it does make me feel like I'm putting too much on my children, but I know that ultimately it's the best thing for them. It's just that getting started, there's, been an overwhelm with demand, if you will.
Yeah, the demand, right? The
Yeah.
demand, especially when you have children getting therapies outside of school, and depending on how many different therapies you're getting, because you have some kids who are getting ABA, occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, maybe even counseling, right? So you have all these things. And then there are times that they have other after school things that they have to be involved in that may be sports related
Or homework.
or plus homework.
We just
So,
started getting homework, and let me tell you, to get a child to do homework is there's a lot of steps and a lot of breaks, so it takes a very long time.
oh my goodness, I think we're going to have a whole show about doing homework with
Please.
with our kids, because I remember making, either I made a plan for a family who, just to help them get through homework with their child. I think their child had autism, and yeah, just getting, but he was taking regular classes, and so just getting through the homework was an issue. But I want, and we'll talk more about this, but remember that if your child has an IEP, they also have within their IEP an accommodation plan.
Mhm.
So if homework is something that is really like debilitating, where it's just too hard or whatever, then the team, the IP team, can come up with a plan, how homework will be addressed or not addressed, right?
Right.
And anything that's not just homework, there might be anything else that your child is really, that's really giving the family a hard time. The IEP team normally takes those things in consideration as well. Although a lot of times, um, some things happen at home, the IEP team cannot necessarily take care of everything that's happening at home. But if the stress that's happening at home or the consequences are being felt at home, then the IEP team can make those accommodations in school, right? Because if it's the homework that's causing the whole meltdown and the drama and everything, then the IEP team, definitely. That's something that we should be mindful of as providers. We have to take into consideration the effects at home. Just for example, if I'm the therapist and I'm given an exercise plan, and it's one that is too hard for the parents to carry out for whatever reason, I have to modify that. I can't say that's what I want him to do, that's what's best for him, you need to get it done. That doesn't work, right?
Right.
So yeah, I hear what you're saying about the homework. So take heed that homework is something that can be addressed. Um,
I think that would be my last solution, if you will. I do think that it's important to carry over and have those kinds of expectations, because work doesn't end. I mean, sometimes I'm up to like 9 o'clock sending emails. So it's just, it's a part of life, and
yeah,
I
but
love
that's the thing, Jen. Yeah, you might be doing that for work, but you're an adult and you're a little bit better at handling workload and stress. But I can tell you that it's not really a badge of honor for us as adults to say how hard we can work. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
how long we have to work. Now I get you with the homework, wanting them to understand this is a tool, right? Or this is an exercise that needs to be done in order for their benefit. And yes, what we can do, and what I've done in the past with families, is we talk about, okay, we take that homework and how do we break it down, and
Right.
how do we modify that same homework. There are different ways we can do it, wherein it's not as stressful, right?
Hmm.
We can structure it in a way where it's not stressful. We can structure it in a way where it's fun. We can structure it in a way where the child gets rewards as well as movement breaks. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. So it's one thing to say, yes, we want them to understand that this is a task that must be done.
Right.
We want them to know that. We don't want to take the homework away altogether.
Right.
But what I was saying is that we need to collaborate with the school, because then that way the school will understand, okay, maybe I won't give them 10 questions for the homework. I'll only give them 4, right? Something like that. So it's not to say, oh, no homework at all, but we'll make accommodations and modifications to the work so that mom can better handle it, or the
Right.
parents can better handle it, and the child can better handle it, you know?
Yes.
So that's something that, and that's the benefit. I tell people, I remember when my son was in regular ed, I would always say, I wish he had a special ed class to help him, because what I noticed, like a special education teacher, they always tend to know why a child is having difficulty in a subject area. Like,
Mhm.
I remember when my son was struggling with math, and his regular ed teachers, they would show me his paper where he was getting maybe 20% correct. And I would look at it and I'm like, okay, why? Why? They don't know why. All they know is that he's not getting the right answer. A special ed teacher is able to say they are not getting the right answer because they're not fluent with their math facts,
Mhm. Yes.
that was a word question, and due
Yes.
to language difficulties, he's having an issue with, and that's what I love about special ed. I kudos to all my special education teachers out there. You guys rock. It's a special skill. It really is a special skill to have. So
I
yeah.
love that. I'm constantly showering my teachers because I know how hard it is, and they wake up and they want to do this every day, and I'm so thankful because I could not.
You know what? It's a tough job, but it's a very rewarding
Yes.
job, right?
Right.
Very rewarding. So yeah, so parents, with you, and homework is new to you,
Yeah.
because for some reason your oldest is in 4th grade or 5th grade,
So he's in 5th grade, and this is the first year that we've ever had
and it's the
him.
first year they've ever given homework.
Yes.
Okay, so for you, homework is new. Well, different school districts do it differently, different teachers do it differently. So I like homework. To me, it gives the kids something to do after school. Because if
Yeah.
but I mean, I know for you, you're already busy with different therapies, different activities, but for a lot of kids, they don't have that. They don't have therapies. They don't have after school, and some parents get home late, and don't have that time
I
to
remember.
do
Yes.
structured activities with their kids. So,
Yeah.
although homework is looked at as a burden sometimes, homework really helps to provide that meaningful, purposeful activities for the kids to be doing after school. It serves a purpose. It's not just reinforcing the material that's covered in class, it's also providing activities for the kids to learn different skills, not just necessarily the math or the reading,
Right.
or social studies, science, whatever the topic is. But homework is a very useful tool, and so although it's a stress, it's good that if parents can find a way to modify it and get their kids to be able to participate appropriately in completing a homework assignment, regardless of how short it is,
Right.
but just that the art of completing something
Yeah.
is more important than saying, oh, it's too hard, we're not going to do it, or you don't see the purpose, so you don't let your kid do it. If the kid gets homework, you're right, Jen. We should find a way to help our kids get
Yeah.
the homework done.
Yeah, it's setting them up for success, right? Problem or critical thinking skills, problem solving, all the things that you need to get through life.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So the biggest overwhelm that parents do have is the schedule, the as you were saying, the multiple therapies, the activities, the homework, um, and then too another thing that parents struggle with is the constant problem solving, right? Because as parents, we want to do the right thing all the time. We want to make sure we're doing the right thing. So we get so overwhelmed with, oh, did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Did I buy the right thing? Right?
Right. Yeah, and it's something that I'm very cautious of, and I work on every single day. Is just finding ways to, instead of like saying stop crying, but now I'm like letting them know I'm right here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like just kind of reinforcing them so that they are able to be confident, because when they're confident, they'll show that in academics, and they'll be able to thrive in sports and just various different things. So it's something that I'm working on, is providing that reinforcement and letting them know, like, hey, I know it's hard, and I know that you were just sitting in there for 6 hours and you probably don't want to do this, but it's only a couple of minutes, or just kind of being able to turn it around and make it a positive versus a negative.
Right. Because here's the deal, parents. When you're overwhelmed and your kids see that you're overwhelmed, it's like that's when the behaviors get more, and then everything starts snowballing, right?
Mirroring,
So
they mirror
so
you.
yeah, so they do mirror your emotions. A lot of parents don't understand that your children do mirror your emotions. It's like they feel your emotions. They know when mommies and daddy are happy or sad, they overworked, tired. They know it and they feel it too. So it's not, I'm not saying camouflage, but frame it. Frame it in a way, as Jen was saying. I understand it was tough. Today was a tough day, but what we're going to do now is this, right? To de-stress, or to handle things in a different manner. So definitely, overwhelm often comes from too many demands or too little structure,
Yeah.
right? And I can tell you guys this. One thing, well, more two things I've learned from children with autism is two things are: one, keep it simple. Keep it simple. And the other thing that I've learned from kids with autism is that repetition and structure helps keep things calm. If you notice, children who are on the spectrum, they tend to do repetitive things. And for them, that's what calms their nervous system, right? By doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and keep doing things in a particular way.
Yeah.
Because when we have all the different changes, our nervous system just goes haywire,
Yeah.
right? And then that's when we get overwhelmed. So we can learn from our kids with autism. Keep
Oh
it
yes,
simple
for
and
sure.
keep it structured.
That's right. Yeah, I'm a better and more organized person because of my eldest. But I will say that little things like saying, "Come on, hurry up," is something that I struggle with because we're constantly on a schedule. But I do know that it's also like me putting big emotions on them, and instead of saying like hurry up, I should really be asking them, okay, well, what's next? Like what, like getting their minds thinking about what's the next thing. um I I'm not like, I don't do that every day. I'm like, hurry up. But
Okay.
like I
And
really want
how old is, if anyone who was thinking about it right now, like who was the last time said hurry up to their child? Did your child really did anything that looked like it was hurrying?
no, it slows me down. That's the thing. So that's what I've learned. And it's I have this book that I'm reading right now, and I learned that, it's when you do that, you're making them wonder or think, slow down and wonder if they're not going fast enough, if you will. Um
Okay, what's the name
versus
of that book?
um okay, it's called Strong Mothers, Strong Sons.
Strong Mothers, Strong Sons. Okay. So it's not necessarily for kids who are on the spectrum. It's just
No, it's for
mothers and
all children. I
all
never
children.
just focus on children on the spectrum. All children are the same, and they don't like to be rushed, and they need to be, their minds need to be exercising. But so that's just one thing that I found to be interesting, was that it in the book it said that if you get their minds thinking, then they're thinking about what's next, and they're themselves hurrying up. So instead of me saying it, I don't know, it's
Right.
kind of like a mind trick. I feel.
And that's why we use visual schedules, or we'll use first then, or we'll just have pictures for kids to understand their what they have to do next. But what we want to do initially to just help kids find their rhythm, we're going to have what we call the anchor routines. Like there's certain things that we must do every day. It doesn't matter what we're doing, if we're going to school or if we're staying home. There are just certain things that we have to do, and that is like getting up, brushing our teeth, getting dressed, right? So those are the would be anchor morning routines. And then you will maybe have an after school routine, which is what you do every day when you get home from school. It doesn't matter, it's the same thing you do every single day. These are done every single day. So it may be getting in from school, making sure you wash your hands, have a snack, and then start an activity, right? But what we want to do is, so that would be after school. And then at nighttime, it would be maybe putting away your games and your toys, brushing your teeth, and putting on your pajamas, right?
Right.
So we just have certain things that we do every night and every day. And those are called anchor routines. Those routines are things that you do all the time. It's like embedded. It's like you don't even think about it. We just do them, right? So once you have those routines down, that's when you start building on the other stuff that you might be doing. So in that way, your child has this map in his brain that they don't really have to think about what's next per se, because they do it every day. It's embedded. They don't even think about it anymore. Now when you have a child who is younger and might be on the spectrum or might have ADHD, you have to give them those cues to remind them, in order to get that simple routine, to get it down. You might have to still cue them, but that's okay. But it's just that you're not constantly say, go do this, go do this, go do, you know what I mean? You just give them little cues. Like if, say for example, you're doing your after school routine. The after school routine is, you get up, you get home, you go wash your hands, and you go get a snack, and you eat your snack, right? Just those three things. If the kid comes in and is just standing there, you might prompt them by saying, "Hey, Johnny, what are you supposed to be doing now?" You don't have to say, "Johnny, go wash your hands,"
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
Because Johnny's been doing that every day. So what you do, you give that little prompt, and his brain will go wash my hands, because You gave him a cue. You didn't tell him
Mhm.
to wash his hands. You gave him the cue. His brain found the answer. So after a while, you won't have to be cueing all the time. It will
Right.
become automatic.
I
It will.
love that. And that's something that I'm going to run to Hobby Lobby this weekend and create, because I think that that's going to help my children become confident and not feel like I'm constantly bossing them around like they claim that I think I'm the boss of the world. But, it's like you guys know what you
So
should
are
do.
you gonna make just have like a chart on the wall, like a little chart with what they do after school?
Yeah. And then
Um,
just kind of change them out is what I'm thinking. So create
well,
three different
you want to
charts.
have so you'll have your core routine, what must be done, and then you can change out according to the days. Because say, for example, say one day they have therapy, speech therapy, right after school. So they're not coming home to go wash their hands, get snack. Then you'll have to change it on the schedule to reflect that day. But you're gonna do it. You're gonna make your schedule from like Sunday night. You make your schedule for the week. So they already know. They pass that schedule every day. They look at that schedule every day. They're primed for what's coming the next day if it's going to change.
Okay, I'm
'Cause-
going to look at different schedules and then try to find one as close as possible to that, because that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking about like changing it every night, and then 'cause, like for instance, yesterday they had to go get haircuts after school. Then
Mhm.
I would have put that on there, and then today
Yes,
was speech.
right. But you
Yeah.
want to put it, you don't want to put it on there like right before you go get the haircut. You want to give them time to know it's coming.
So I
So
need to
you
do
want,
one that's like
so
long.
you want to do it at least the day before.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. So
You
I could just
at least preferably 2 days or more before, right? So you're telling, you're priming them and letting them know it's coming up, because you know how whenever there are changes, how children can get anxious, and you know, especially with your child who is on the spectrum, how changes cause meltdowns
Oh
or
yeah,
yeah,
we went to the pediatrician for their well checkup this morning, and it derailed his entire day. I mean,
entire day.
he said he did. He had the worst day, very emotional, highs and lows, and but he had to go in and get his well checkup, and it happens once a year, and it's hard for them to understand.
And do you think you did a good job priming him about today and how today was going to go in terms
No,
of that? You did it.
no, I didn't. Unfortunately, no,
And that's what parents need. And guess what, guys, we're not going to always do it
no.
perfectly. These are just, and for Jen not to prime her son, and she's been at this for so long, but then life happens, because your brain is probably, oh, I'm starting a new job. I have to get this completed for this job. But so you have your own things that you're thinking about. So for parents, we cannot expect everything to go right all the time. And we can't and I don't expect for parents to always be on it. As a mom, we're not always on it. And that is okay.
Yes, please,
But
people, give yourselves permission to
that
like
is
have
okay.
instances like that, please.
But whenever you can, you want to use the visual schedules. You want to use maybe sometimes even social stories about what's coming up.
Yeah,
That's just helping your child to be ready, right? Um, you give them predictable transitions, like, okay, first you're going to go to the doctor. After you go to the doctor, then you're going to be doing this, so they know what's coming up after the doctor, right?
right.
So you want to make things as predictable as possible,
Right.
especially for kids who are on the spectrum. So a lot of times the tools that help in just helping you to create this structure and organization is the like a calendar, right? You can use a calendar, or you can have that um, personalized picture schedule that you make for your child. Um, you can use visual timers, or even auditory timers. Like when they're getting something done, you're like, okay, we're going to work on this for 10 minutes. They don't know the concept of 10 minutes. So you set that timer for 10 minutes. You're like, hey bud, when you hear that timer goes off, that's going to be time for you to stop and go to the next thing, whatever the next thing is, right? Because what I've noticed is a lot of times um, kids we're working on them getting their tasks done, but they'll be done with the task and they sit there and they spin the materials, and they don't know how to move or when to move, and like, okay, that's done now, it's you can go to the next thing. So by you using a timer, that helps them, or using some alert system, it's that to tell them, hey, you can leave there now and go to the next thing. That was plenty of time on that. That was pretty good. Great job staying on task. Great job doing the work, even if it's not 100% complete. Like just just know what battles to pick, right?
Yeah.
So if you're using the timer, when the timer goes off, that helps them to be able to be more flexible. So use timers. Um
I just want to
Also,
say that our therapist came up with a pretty big idea to where he only had to do a couple of things as far as homework. So they would set, she sets timers, and then once he completes those two items, and he can go and play for a few minutes and then come back. And that's been being it's been very helpful getting through our work that's required.
yeah. So that's like doing what we call those sensory breaks, right? So you work for a few minutes.
Yeah.
When the timer goes off, you can go, especially your older one who likes to do his boxing. He can go do his boxing, get
Get that energy out, get the
some of
anger
that
out.
and yeah, and really and truly that helps the brain maintain focus. Movement breaks really help the brain maintain focus. So that is a great strategy
Yeah.
for getting anything done. So a lot of times as parents, say we try to rush our kids, like to get things done faster. um, Sometimes we just have to make them go at our own pace, and we just have to be okay and be patient.
And let me just say, it's not easy,
I
and you
know,
practice it every day. I constantly have to find my husa here.
I know.
Like,
And,
when I
and
can, I do.
another thing is, like, parents tend to be like, oh, it's taking so long. Let me just do it and get it over with. Again, I know it's like easier for parents to do that, but in the long run, it doesn't really serve the child to
No,
learn the skills they need. So patience, having patience is it's a big
it's a
skill
skill,
that parents have to practice
and it needs to be practiced every day.
every day. And you know what, your kids will be 50, 60, or whatever, you still don't have the, because I feel the same way about my son, where I mean he's in his early 20s, and I just feel like like I have to be like, Hosa, okay, all right, have some patience, give him
Yes.
time.
But that also goes for us parents. We need to be patient with ourselves.
Oh,
Just like you
yes.
have to be patient with other people. So give yourselves permission to be patient with yourself.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. Parents, what we can do, we can take 5 to 10 minutes of quiet time each day for ourselves. Like schedule your quiet time, guys. Schedule in your mind, like, okay, between, just like how you might schedule your exercise time, you can schedule that time for yourself, for you to do your introspection, to do your daily reflection, to really calm your mind. Because if we aren't calm, and we know, like, some children really really up the meter at home. It's like, some of them, they're really good in school all day, but when they get home,
Oh, I know. I've had instances where I have to ask my teachers, like, can you please send that child home because the one that you're sending home is not the same. It's a whole new
right?
child.
Because
But
they'll
I
tell
will
you.
say that I actually have my scheduled time and it's my gym time. And it's still
Mhm.
not enough. And so one thing that I've also learned, and I'm trying very hard at practicing, is to not tell my children, okay, that's making me mad or I'm feeling frustrated, because it's almost like I'm putting my emotions onto them. And
Mhm.
I shouldn't do that. Like, what I should do is just say, like, I need a break. I need to walk away, go to the restroom, and just do some deep breathing, and then walk back out. And that's, like I said, it's something that I practice every day, because there are times where I'm just like, I'm getting mad.
I know, it's tough, and I think with parenting children with special needs, it's like, as a parent, you have to be learning so many different skills to really manage your children's behaviors, or setting expectations for your children. It's different, because I'll always hear parents who had like a first child, and that child was typically developing, and then their second child may be diagnosed with ADHD, or their child is on the spectrum. They will go like, my first child was nothing like this, I never had to do this. And guys, that is true. You probably never have to, but this child is his or her own unique person. And your your toolbox of different things that you would have done to discipline, or to teach, or to help self-regulate, um, your toolbox is going to be a little bit different when you have a child with ADHD, or a child who's on the spectrum. So it's just learning different tools.
Yeah.
You're
No, I just want to say that also all children are different, like, no matter what. And I feel like I have to use one set of skills for my youngest, who's very emotional, and I'm not. So a lot of the times when he's, being a drama king, I'm just kind of like, it's not a big deal, but I have to, touch into that side of me, or, not really the side of me. It's what I've learned. The skills that I've learned is what I have to tap into. And then I have my oldest, who he's a very strong and strong-willed child, and very determined, and just demanding. And so I have to tap into certain skills with him. So yes, I think that whether they're neurotypical or not, they're different skills for every single personality.
And that's why, guys, there are a lot of services out there that does like parent coaching, or there are different classes available where you can go and learn different things. Jen and I, we we are here. We'll answer any questions. You guys can email us at schoollifeready@gmail.com. I thought I had it written down to show on the bottom of the screen, but I don't see it coming up. So again, the email is schoollifeready@gmail.com. You can email us your questions. You can email us with information that you have and have learned, and information that you want us to share and talk about on this show. We would love to have it, because as Jen and I always say, it takes a village. And Jen, I'm just one therapist, and Jen is just one parent. But when we have a group of parents together and we have people sharing ideas, it really helps out so much more. The more input that we get from you guys, and any books that you think we should know about that have helped you, share it with us so we can share it with other parents. Any other podcasts that are out there that is talking about what we're talking about, share it with us as well, so that we can let people know about them, so that we can help each other, because that's the whole purpose of this partnership that Jen and I have, and this podcast is really to come together to support other parents. So we want a bigger family. So we're urging everyone to join us so we can create a bigger community.
That's right. Knowledge is power. So no gate, or what is it? Gatekeeping around here.
Right?
Share it.
Share. Okay. So we talked about for parents. So okay, let me just go back. Managing our stress and energy. For the kids, we want to make sure we have, and for us, we want structure, simplicity, structure, routine. Remember that. Once we create that, the basis, then we can add on after that. But we have to create that structure and routine first. For kids, we want them to, maybe we can get them doing movement breaks before school, or movement breaks after school, or doing homework. We want to incorporate that. We want to do like a downtime before homework, or a movement break before homework, so that we can get them ready to do the homework. And then if we need to modify the homework, we'll do that, right? For parents, we need to take 5 to 10 minutes a day as quiet reflection time for ourselves, just to check in with ourselves and see how we're doing, right? We need to do that. We also need to learn to say no. And that's for a lot of people, it's very hard. We have to learn to say no to our kids, no to our family members, no to school staff who might be like, oh, we're having a bingo night, we need volunteers. Now, try to be as involved as you can in your child's school. However, know your limit. Know your limit. And Jen, you might be able to talk about that, from being part of the PTA to being like, how do you manage all of that? But
I wing it. Like, I don't really plan for any of it. It just happens, and I wake up and figure it out. No, but I also want to add on to not just the school, but also church. The church
yes,
can be very demanding. And giving yourself permission to say no is something that I literally said my first real no to someone today. And it felt really good. And it was going back to the church, and it was like, do you want to stay? Can you stay till like 6:45 at night? And I was like, no, I got to get my kids to sleep. So yes, it's doable.
it's empowering. Saying no is very empowering, and it helps you manage your stress and your energy.
And it's, you know what it is? Self-care is not just about laying in a bathtub. That's also self-care, is just
Oh,
saying,
absolutely.
well, that right there is, I was taking care of myself,
And at the same time, I'm telling you to be able to say no. I'm also telling you to be able to ask for help, right? It's okay. And most parents want to help another parent. But again, don't be upset if that parent tells you no when you ask for your help. Like, you can't be, don't bring any emotions to it. When you ask for help and somebody tells you no, don't take it as a bad thing, because that person might just be practicing their self-care in saying no to you who has asked for help, because helping you will take them in in a zone where they're not able to manage their stress and their energy. So it's okay to say no, and it's also okay for you to ask for help and hear no, right? So not because you hear no from someone means, oh, I'm not going to ask anyone else. If you truly need the help, go ahead and ask for the help. If you're a part of a supportive community like us here at School Life Ready, then we will find someone who can help you, or we will share the task and we'll figure it out. So that's why it's important to be part of a group, of a supportive group, because if you need something, at least there are people there who, if they can't help you, they can partner up with someone who can help you or help share the load and share the burden with you. So definitely ask for help to just help to manage your stress as well. So it's like it's a community, guys. It's really a community. So yeah, parents, definitely give yourself permission to slow down and protect your energy. And Jen gave some great suggestions about how to set up your daily routine to have that rhythm and structure, right? And we spoke about doing that. And I have a checklist that you can have if you email me at schoollifeready@gmail.com. I will send you that checklist so you can have it, to have your little visual cue of making sure that you're doing as much as you can to help keep yourself organized, keep the routine, and have that structure for you and your children. But Jen, here's the deal. We do all of this, and guess what? Sometimes it's going to break apart. It's just not going to go. We have it all planned. We do our visual schedule. We set stuff out ahead of time. We prime our kids, and we give them the social stories, and we let them know, we give them the predictability that they need. But some days it's going to fall. It's gonna break. So what happens when the rhythm breaks? What happens when the routine crashes and it doesn't? So what do we do, Jen? What do we do? Because it's gonna happen.
You do the bare minimum. That's what you do.
That
You run around in
is key,
pajamas.
guys.
Like,
That is key.
don't
When
push
the
yourself.
whole plan that you have is isn't working. Jen, did you read that in a book, or you just know that's it? When the bare minimum.
Yeah, I know. I've had days like that where it's like, I'm not getting out of my pajamas. We're all in a bad mood, so I'm going to sage my house. I'm going to light up some incidences, and I'm going to give you guys mac and cheese all day, or order food. But I try not to feel guilty about days like that. I constantly feel like after that, I feel like we needed that. We all needed that, and we're able to come, get back to our normal routine. But it's not something that I ever really planned for, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the deal, guys. So we plan and we do our structure and we do our routines and we plan ahead and we prime our kids and we make sure that we try to be as consistent with what we do as much as possible. But when things fall apart, the first thing you have to remember is that it's in this moment.
Yeah.
It's just in this moment. It doesn't mean that your whole plan that you've been working on all school year has failed. No, it's just in this moment. So what you do, you deal with it in that moment, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing, when the first thing goes awry, don't react. Don't react to it. Just pause and breathe. That's the first thing. Just breathe. Just pause, acknowledge it, breathe, right? And then you do Jen's move, the bare minimum plan. The bare minimum plan. Make sure that you have your bare minimum plan.
Right.
What does it look like for you when things are what you had planned is not going the way it should, right?
Yeah.
What's that look like for you? Just know, and for every family, it's going to be different. For Jen,
Right.
it's pajamas and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
That's
Pajamas, mac and cheese, and then my kids and I, we love movies. So we'll just have a movie marathon day.
right.
If I can get them outside, I will. But if that's also, they're just not having it or they can't be out there because they are constantly having meltdowns, then it's like we're just going to stay inside and they play around and I'll watch movies with them. We'll turn it off, just various different things, but definitely a very low key, mellow. I don't, I'm not putting any sort of demand or expectation on them, if you will. Like I'm not like the schedule is out of the window. If they want to
Right.
take a nap, they can take a nap if that's what their bodies need. If they want to eat snacks all day, then I'll give them permission to do that. But I just kind of let them pull themselves together again because I know that we all need it.
Yeah. And communicate with your child, especially if if you have the routine schedule down packed, the one that schedule that doesn't require prompting for, like say for example, it's brush your teeth and go to bed, right?
Right.
That is going to stay the same, hopefully, because they already had that down packed. It's not something that you that necessarily is going to go out the window. They
So
still they still can do those things. They,
yeah,
because those are ingrained, right? Those are that schedule never changes.
yeah,
However, if it's a case wherein we are having such a bad meltdown and it's so bad that they can't even brush their teeth, that's okay. That's okay. They're not going to die if they don't brush their teeth one night, right? You have to really look at the intensity of the breakdown of the schedule and what is going on. Like you don't want to necessarily pick a battle, right? So that's when you like just let it go. Just let it go. It's okay. At the next day we'll start over, right? And we'll start over by following what's on the schedule for that day, right? We'll try to keep it the way it is. Now, I can guarantee you that once you have that schedule in place and you're working on it, there will become a time wherein those bare minimum days are few and far in between. They're going to be few and far in between. They will happen, but they will be few and far in between. Because once your children get into a routine, once we as human beings get into a routine, it life becomes so much more easy for us to manage. We don't have to think too much. We know what's coming up. We know what's expected. So don't stress it on the days that it goes awry and you have to go to the bare minimum plan. Don't stress it. As a matter of fact, don't stress anything. That's what
Yeah.
we're saying. That's what we're saying. Don't stress. Stress doesn't help.
No.
Don't stress it. Learn to kind of go with the flow. Go with your zen. Do your wusa moments.
For sure.
They are very powerful moments. You were going to say something, Jen?
Oh no, it's going to say, yeah, for sure. It could be as simple as I read that walking outside barefoot has, something like it is able to calm your nervous system. So
Yes, that's grounding. Just
grounding
walking outside. Yeah,
or
walking
just
outside
sitting
and
in the
standing on
sun.
the grass. Yeah, very powerful. And it only takes that something like that only takes a couple of minutes. It's not like you have to be out there walking for 30 minutes. You just get out there and stand on the grass and whatever you need to do to kind of just ground yourself, like just tune into yourself and ground yourself to keep yourself calm. And I know it's having that self-control as a parent is something that we have to work on constantly, just like how our kids have to work on their school skills and their ADL skills. That self-care and mindfulness
Yep.
is something that we have to constantly work on that, definitely. Yeah, so when we have those hard days, make sure that you create that calming anchor. Have one predictable comfort activity that you go back to on the hard days. So, as for Jen, it's pajamas and macaroni and cheese. For you, it might be your child might have a certain book at bedtime that helps them,
Gardening.
or gardening, a family walk, what else, cuddling with your weighted blanket. Oh, I saw this cutest thing in the pharmacy. It was a weighted stuffed animal with lavender scent, and you could put it in the microwave and make it warm. It
Oh,
was
that's nice.
24.99. I was like, I'm gonna get a couple of these.
Was that at Walgreens?
Yes.
Yeah, they always have the best stuff at Walgreens. I love Walgreens. That's funny. I'll have to
Oh
check
my
that out.
goodness. I was like, a stuffed toy you can put in the microwave and
Yeah.
get it warm. Oh my God. And it gives off, I don't know, that one gave off lavender. I don't know if we could change the scent, but that is such a common tool,
I
like,
wonder if they have that at like Build a Bear workshop. If we
oh,
could
I
do
don't
our
know.
own vegan.
What if you could, well, build a bear is kind of expensive, but wouldn't it be awesome if you could build your own sensory bear, and stuff it with weighted things, right?
Right.
Do
Yeah,
they
someone's
still have
probably
one
doing.
at Mall of Georgia? Do they still have a build a bear there?
They do. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right. We don't get anything for talking about Walgreens and Build a Bear. We just like them. So no affiliations. No. But Build a Bear, if you want us to talk about creating sensory bears, go ahead and contact me and Jen at schoollifeready@gmail.com. We
Yeah.
can help you create some sensory bears
I
for,
like your marketing skills.
yeah, and scents that the kids may like, right? Like,
Right.
um
With characters
infused
that they like.
infused oils, essential oils in your Build a Bear and make them weighted. Oh, and maybe we can find a way to put them in the microwave and get them warm, or put them in the dryer and get them warm, and then we can use it as a soothing Build a Bear, therapeutic Build a Bear, huh?
Yeah.
Oh
Love it.
gosh. All right, guys. Well, remember, rhythm is very important. And when we spoke about like setting these routines and structure, what we're really trying to do is create rhythm. Like rhythm is very important in our development, right? Like in learning, everything is about rhythm. Our sleep wake cycle is rhythm. The way the world moves is rhythm, right? We have rhythm. And so rhythm is something that we want to create and maintain in our lives
Right.
for us to have lives that function well. We have to create those rhythms. And because of that is why tonight we're talking about creating these routines, right? And the tools and the strategies, all these, when you put them together, when you use them, you're using them in a rhythmic fashion. So rhythm is the key that I want everyone to tune in to as you make plans of how to structure your daily routine to reduce stress and reduce overwhelm. So just keep that in mind as you plan for the school year. Um, Definitely make it, set a rhythm for yourself in whatever way you do it, whether it's using a calendar to organize things, using the visual schedules, um, incorporating your self-care, your daily activities where you're taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, and then working with your and playing and interacting with your family and your children. All of this needs to be done in a routine, rhythmic way because it's the rhythm that gives you that flow and that energy and just keeping everything together. And yes, there are days that the rhythm is going to break, but you have the backup plan for when the rhythm breaks. And what's the backup plan when the rhythm breaks, Jen?
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum. Don't forget that. Bare minimum. So, yeah. Oh wow, we're a little bit over time tonight, but that was that was really good. That
Yeah.
was really good. So to take us out, Jen, what's your any feedback, anything you want to share before we leave tonight?
Yeah, I'm definitely creating my own schedule for my family here. And I just think that small changes will build big results over time. And I'm hoping that that goes on to those anchoring routines first, and then we can build off of that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and remember, finding your rhythm isn't about perfection. It's about creating enough structure to reduce chaos and make space for connection. So, for me, tonight's takeaway is pick one area of your day to make more predictable this week. So, Jen is already going to get her calendar and make her structure. If you don't want to do go big, just start with one thing, right?
Yeah,
One day. If you want to say, you know what, I'm going to plan out my Mondays. If you want to do it that way, you can do it that way as well. Just do it at your pace and
sure.
do what works for you and your families. We're here for you every Tuesday at 7:30. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can get the word out at SLR Insights. That's S for school, L for life, R for ready, Insights, SLR Insights on YouTube. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you all next week. And Jen, just hold up a minute for me, please.
Sure.
All right, good night, y'all.
Good night. Bye.